Today on Public Eye News, the UP hosts its first annual beekeeping conference, and Cleveland Cliffs has announced the groundbreaking of a new Ohio plant.
Caleb Rydell will have our snowy weather forecast, and Max Stevens will have details on March Madness. Hi, I'm Anthony Cilia.
And I'm Jillian Wormlinger. Welcome to Public Eye News. Northern Michigan University's music department will host Little Red Walking Hood, an opera experience for elementary-age children. The free performance will be held at 10 a.m. and 7:30 p.m. Wednesday, April 4th in Reynolds Recital Hall. In the production, Little Red walks, then runs into trouble on her trip through the woods. This children's opera is presented by students in NMU's Opera Theater workshop class. It is approximately 45 minutes long, and individuals of all ages are welcome to attend the production. And according to the Art Career Project, a national online resource for art students and professionals, Northern Michigan University ranks 9th among accredited U.S. colleges and universities with furniture design programs. To qualify for the Art Career Project's rankings, a school program must be certified in good standing with its regional accrediting body. The Art Career Project provides resources for career exploration, including profiles for hundreds of art careers, art jobs, scholarships, financial aid resources, and professional development.
And Ski Brûlée hosted an Easter event for the community this past weekend. It also gave families the opportunity to enjoy the new blanket of snow. The ski resort put on an Easter egg hunt, did brunch, and offered tubing as part of the celebration. The resort also blew up an acro bag for anybody trying to practice jumps and landing on a soft surface. The Ski Brûlée also says that they offer as many activities as possible to make it as family friendly for everyone, so they can create lifelong bonds with attenders of their events for the rest of their lives, and they hope to stay open for as long as conditions are favorable. And the UP hosted its first annual beekeeping conference this past Saturday in the Seaborg Center at Northern Michigan University's campus. The event was open to everyone interested in the subject and brought in speakers and vendors from the surrounding areas. There were 200 people registered for the event, and organizers hope it creates a love for the art of beekeeping. The state of Michigan has about 70 to 100 beekeeping businesses that are registered at this point, and the conferences are trying to get people involved and, more importantly, get them involved correctly. With the decline of bee populations on a global scale, some species of bees rely heavily on beekeeping for their survival.
April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and Governor Rick Snyder and First Lady Sue Snyder are urging all Michiganders to raise awareness and pledge to help change the culture surrounding sexual assault. Michigan is a leader in the fight to end campus sexual assault. Last year, the First Lady created a campus sexual assault work group to develop resource materials for sexual assault survivors. The work group unveiled and distributed 500 handbooks to attendees. Michigan colleges and universities and their community partners can order up to 250 copies of the handbook at a time. To this date, 15,312 resource handbooks have been delivered around Michigan. And Cleveland Cliffs announced Monday it will be holding a groundbreaking event on April 5th, 2018 to celebrate the construction of its first hot briquetted iron production plant. The company is investing $700 million to build one of the world's most modern and efficient iron-making plants, generating a total of 130 new jobs in Toledo, Ohio. At peak construction, 1,200 people will be working on the site. Cliffs' domestically produced HBI will supply a Great Lakes market currently estimated at 3 million metric tons, and the plant will start up in the summer of 2020. And after the break, we'll be back with your national and international news.
3 final challenges.
Whatever happens, I have to live with for the rest of my life.
The last challenge is always the hardest challenge.
And 1 final chance.
It is breathtaking.
For baking glory.
The winner is...
Tonight at 10 after Antiques Roadshow on Public TV 13.
And welcome back. Ethan Couch, who was 16 years old at the time, drunkenly struck and killed 4 pedestrians with a car back in 2013. The boy was then able to avoid a prison sentence by stating that his irresponsibility was due in full to his entitled upbringing. He claimed affluenza clouded his perception of right and wrong, and that was able to buy him 10 years of probation and only 2 years in jail. The probation was then revoked after he went to a party serving alcohol. Couch then fled to Mexico with his mother and has recently been caught. Both him and his mother were arrested and are awaiting sentencing. His father is currently in prison for falsely identifying himself as a peace officer. And President Trump says he will no longer support legislative efforts to protect these so-called dreamers from deportation. He tweeted yesterday that DACA, the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, is dead, and he's pinning the blame squarely on Democrats and Mexico. Angelica Alvarez has more details from the White House.
President Trump watched as kids rolled Easter eggs over a finish line, but it was people crossing over the border that was on his mind.
People are taking advantage of DACA, and that's a shame. It should have never happened.
The president blamed Democrats for failing to protect DACA recipients, these so-called dreamers who were brought to America illegally as children.
Democrats have really let them down. It's a shame.
He tweeted this morning, DACA is dead because the Democrats didn't care or act. Must build wall and secure our borders with proper border legislation.
The motion to concur is agreed to.
But during the recent budget battle on Capitol Hill, Democrats say it was the president who turned down a deal to fully fund his border wall in exchange for DACA protections.
We gave him every penny he asked for over 10 years and fixed the dreamer problem, and he said no.
Congress gave the president $1.6 billion for the border wall instead of the $25 billion he requested. So now he's focusing on Mexico to stop immigration.
Mexico has got to help us at the border. They flow right through Mexico. They send them into the United States. Can't happen that way anymore.
The president claimed caravans of undocumented immigrants are coming into the U.S. through Mexico.
We do come over, but we have done more good than bad.
The president says he will end NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement between the U.S., Mexico, and Canada, if Mexico doesn't do more to stop illegal immigration. Angelica Alvarez, CBS News, the White House.
A 13-year-old boy who fell into a sewer pipe during a family Easter celebration at Los Angeles Griffith Park has been found alive after a 12-hour search of the complex drainage system. Jesse Hernandez was located in a pipe about a mile east of where he fell Sunday at the sprawling urban park between the San Fernando Valley and Hollywood. Searchers used closed-circuit cameras that were lowered into the pipes noticed what appeared to be hand marks on one of the pipe walls. Workers lowered a hose down to the boy and pulled him up. Fire rescue team members provided immediate medical aid and transported the boy to a hospital in serious condition. And the U.S. and China are one step closer to a trade war, with American farmers caught in the middle. Overnight, China imposed significant tariffs on more than 100 imported American products. Simon Cullen reports from London.
China has fired back less than 2 weeks after President Trump announced tariffs on some Chinese imports. Beijing has slapped tariffs on 128 American products worth $3 billion. The country's foreign ministry spokesman says China doesn't want a trade war, but it is not going to back down if provoked. The move will hit US farmers hard. There's now a 15% tax on most US fruits, including apples, pears and cherries. It also applies to almonds and wine. China is also targeting American pork products and aluminum scrap metal with a 25% charge. American soybean farmers are worried that if it escalates, they could be next.
If there were any type of tariffs on our soybeans going to China, it would be disastrous. We really rely on our export markets.
On the streets of China, though, there's little sympathy. This hotel worker says it's absolutely right for China to fight back against America. But China's latest move could spark further action from the White House, one step closer to a full-blown trade war, which experts say neither side will win. Simon Cullen, CBS News.
And don't touch that dial, because we'll be right back with your weather and sports. Stay tuned.
Two paths.
James Earl Ray is not the typical assassin.
One destiny.
Memphis police report that Reverend Martin Luther King has been shot.
If he is the killer, why did he do it?
We always said we were not concerned with who killed Martin Luther King. We were concerned with what killed Martin Luther King.
Roads to Memphis on American Experience.
Tuesday night at 8 after PBS NewsHour on Public TV 13.
And welcome back. I'm Caleb Rydell, going to be taking you through your weather for today. As you can see behind me, we got some more of that white stuff, that snow out there over the weekend, as we did have some snowstorms coming in, and we actually got several inches out there after just it seemed like it had melted off. But we're going to look at partly cloudy out there right now with a temperature of 32 degrees, winds out of the northeast at 7 miles per hour, and a barometric pressure of 30.01 inches and falling. Taking a look at tonight, we're going to see more of that snow piling up with a low of 23 and winds out of the northeast at 8 miles per hour. And tomorrow, we're also going to see, again, more snow out there with high of 29, winds out of the northeast at 18 miles per hour. Across the UP, we're going to see a little bit of sun peeking out there, especially on that lower belt. So we're going to start up in Sault Ste. Marie with 35 degrees, 32 in Manistee, Escanaba with 33, and down in Menominee, 32. Looking at the western half of the UP, we're going to see Iron Mountain with 35, Ironwood also with 35 and sunny. Up in Keweenaw and Houghton with some clouds out there, 29 degrees. And back here in Marquette, partly cloudy and 32 degrees. Let's take a look at your week ahead. Taking a look, we'll see that Wednesday we're going to see a high of 33 degrees with a low of 13 and some clouds out there. Thursday we're going to get chillier with a high of 26 and a low of 14 with some of that snow out there. And finishing off again with the week with some more snow on Friday, looking at a high of 24, a low of 11. Well, it is definitely cool out here, Max, but I hear things are heating up in San Antonio.
It's the biggest stage in college basketball, Caleb. I'm ready. Tonight is the night. The madness is behind us. 66 teams are down and 2 are left standing. Tonight, the Michigan Wolverines will battle the Villanova Wildcats for all the marbles, the right to be called the national champions of college basketball. Michigan advances to the game after ending the Cinderella run of Loyola Chicago, defeating them in the Final Four 69-57. Mortiz Wagner carried the Wolverines in that game, scoring 24 points and grabbing 15 rebounds in 36 minutes of action. Villanova advances to the title game after dominating a fellow 1 seed in the Kansas Jayhawks, winning 95-79. Villanova had 6 players scoring in double figures and broke multiple NCAA three-point shooting records in the game, including most threes made by a team in a single season. This humble sports anchor predicts a hard-fought Villanova victory in a close game. And following opening day last week with some crummy weather in Detroit, the Tigers have begun the season 0-3. After the opening day game was rained out, Friday's game ended with a tough 13-10 loss in extra innings. Starting pitcher Jordan Zimmerman threw 6 innings, giving up 4 runs and striking out 8 batters. Then, after Saturday's game also ended up getting a rainout, Sunday's doubleheader ended with a tough 1-0 loss in the first game and an 8-6 defeat in the second. However, just minutes ago, the Tigers picked up their first win of the year, a 6-1 victory over the Kansas City Royals. The Tigers have 2 more matchups with the Royals in this series, one tomorrow and one on Wednesday, both from Comerica Park. And in other Detroit sports news, the Pistons have put together a nice little 5-game win streak, but it's too little, too late. With only 5 games remaining on their schedule, the Pistons are 4 games behind the Milwaukee Bucks for the 8th spot in the Eastern Conference. Since the Miami Heat share a record with the Milwaukee Bucks, the Pistons, from a statistical standpoint, have a shot at both the 7th and the 8th seed, but the odds for the 7th seed are at less than 1%, and the odds for the 8th seed are sitting at exactly 1%. Even if the Pistons won every game remaining on their schedule, which includes another matchup with top-seeded Toronto, they still do not control their playoff destiny. Well, Anthony, the Florida Gators have been out of the NCAA tournament for some time, but I hear the Gators are still making headlines.
Oh, that is true. Yeah, the Florida Gators are coming big, and they're coming large back in the backyard for a family in Florida. A 11-foot gator was found in a swimming pool in the backyard of Florida residents' home. And it was required that a professional trapper was to remove. And with temperatures rising, it is said that gators are becoming more active and should be treated with caution and respect. And with that, that's all the time we have for you today. Come back tomorrow. We'll give you more news per usual. We'll see you soon.
The preceding program was produced in studios located in the Edgar L. Hardin Learning Resources Center by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television.